In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about secondary entries because I'm getting a lot of questions on those, and I'm going to show you an example of that today. So this is a daily chart of Amazon, and I'm going to show you the original setup decision for a swing trade, and that came in with basically simple symmetry because I had a prior high to low swing that was 218.62 projected from this high. And that gave us, the 2503 area. And then there was also a 786 retracement, it looks like, of this smaller swing. And that was a setup, okay? Actually, symmetry by itself is a setup. Now, this held the support, tested the support, held the support, and triggered against that support. And the potential upside target is still higher. It's still at the 2781 area. So typically, as long as we haven't yet met a target, I will go down to the lower time frame charts and find, secondary entries if you missed the first entry. The first entry was on the daily chart. Now here's an example of where we had a secondary entry today, and it was pretty simple. I mean, we had a few different areas to look at, but we ended up holding the first area. Actually, this pullback was very similar to this pullback. This was 29 bucks, this was 28.43. It was very similar. And, that's where you had the symmetry come in. You also had a 786 retracement of this prior swing. And then you also had a 618 retracement of this prior swing. So this area was tested and it held. We were already in a buy mode on this time frame chart because remember it did trigger against the daily back here. If you were using the 30-minute chart, it would have triggered a little bit sooner if you used the 15. But we did end up hitting, testing, holding, and then triggering, for example, on a 1-minute chart in Amazon. And the initial upside target was met. The second target was this 27.15 area, which we essentially met on the close. So that all occurred in one day, but this was what I would consider a secondary entry, because I certainly don't want you like buying here and risking underneath here. I want to set up a new setup on a lower time frame chart so I can define your risk again, and I'd like it to be in the direction of what I'm looking at on the daily chart. Hope that helps.